So today is Monday, February 10th. And we're at More Money Monday, and we're in our third week in the series of lead gen with DJ Berg. And today we're talking about mindset. Is that right? Or am I messing you up? Is that Wally's? You're doing something different. You're doing the 8x8.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay, then.
Surprise.
Okay, help me out.
Okay, so this is within the 4 laws of lead generation. And Susie and Sam and Priscilla, did you see the 300 presentation where I went through the lake, E to P, the 4 laws? And so that's a yes from Susie, no from Sam. And since there's 3, Priscilla, no. Okay. So I'm going to show this to you guys really quick. I am going to make this a half hour.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you this really quick, like a 5-minute version. Then I'm going to talk to you guys. I want to hear stories from the homework last time for another 5 or 10. Okay. And then I have homework moving forward. And it'll cause you to keep getting into the right activities. Anyway, let's go to whiteboard. Let's go new whiteboard. And I do have my Apple Pencil with me this time, so it'll be a little bit of a better experience for you, I believe. Hold on, black. There we go. All right. Your income, and go ahead and write this down. Your income is directly, I'm not going to write the whole thing down. Your income is directly proportional to the size and quality of your database. The things that we're working through, and Susie can remember this, but I said it's only going to be a quick update. E to P, the lake with the streams flowing into the lake. That's a picture of your database. The 4 laws. Does this all look familiar, Susie? Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she's
sorry. My mouth is slow.
Okay. The 4 laws and then the income. Now, I really want to do this, have everybody see this before we start the homework, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. E to P. Most real estate agents are in the entrepreneurial mode their entire career, and they experience this up and down. And if you feel that to where you have some deals and I have no business, I have some business, I have no business, you are completely in E. Everything that we do in our business coaching, anything that we're doing to improve ourselves is to go from E to P in business. What is P? It stands for purposeful. Purposeful is models, systems, tools, accountability, coaching, ongoing education, never quit. No hubris. So just so I'll say it again, purposeful is models. What is the model? Your income is directly proportional to the size and quality of your database. If you guys don't believe that, please refute that now. But I will tell you, when you take every statistical studied source of where the leads come from, so there's a number of sources that you can see in studies on it in the NAR Home Buyers and Sellers Guide that comes out every year. And some people will say, "Oh, look at this chart. Only 27% of business is done by referral." But when you look at repeat, referral, and then you look at all the inside or the different studies that they do in the NAR Home Buyers and Sellers Guide, add it all together, it ends up being somewhere between 83 to 85% of business. 83 to 85, we'll just call it 83% of business comes from the people you know, repeat or referral. That is the model, okay? The systems, you will learn those and I will help you. Tools, you'll learn those and I will help you. One was the accordion folder, just so you can start to see how the tools work. Accountability, that's what we're going to do, which is to check in on what you did last week. Ongoing education, coaching, never quit, no hubris. Just stay in curiosity is what no hubris says. Don't ever think you know everything. The lake and the stream, here we are down here in this section right there. The streams are the people that you haven't met yet and are meeting right now. The people in the database are the people that you have met. So we call that your met database. Somebody that you haven't met yet, but are just meeting, you would have met them in something like an open house, geographic farming, social media, cold calling, etc. And if we sat here and we thought about it, because somebody, I think it was Naveem last time, if I'm remembering her name correctly, how do I meet 3 people a day? Because we're talking about how we're going to progress through these next few weeks. There's probably about 120 to 150. I've done seminars where we just think about every different way we could meet people. Open houses, geographic farming, cold calling, social media are the easy ones. Those are also the biggest ones. Most impactful thing you could do is to have a geographic farm and meet everybody in it and work that farm not only through marketing, but by meeting the people in person. Then the systems, whoops, I just erased those 2 things. I don't know why. Systems, so models, systems. The systems are something like a 4x4 up to an 8x8, could be a 6x6. Whoops, 8x8, 6x6. And after you've met them, it's somewhere between 32 to 40 touches a year. So 2 different databases. I have the databases of people that I'm just meeting, and I have a rapid system of contacts. Handwritten note, call, handwritten note, send statistics, ask the qualifying question. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, or had a friend or family member who was, do you have a top realtor that you refer them to? No. Can I be the one? I have a great group of people that get wonderful real estate related information from time to time. I'd love for you to be part of my group. Oh, we would love that too. Great. What's your email address and your home address if you don't know it, and cell phone, etc. Now you get their information. They've agreed that you would be the person they refer people to. You met them in an open house. You stayed in contact with them 4 times over 4 weeks. Ask them the question. Now they go in your database and they get relationship building systems, things like an email a month, statistics once per month, slow mailed to them, 4 calls a year, 4 handwritten notes a year, client parties. You personally sing them happy birthday. You send their kids happy birthdays and sing happy birthday stuff to the kids, etc. I mean, running a database and doing it well to get referrals is very personal. So that's that. And then let's move over to the 4 laws. Law number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Law number 1 is create a database. I asked you guys to get an accordion folder just so you can physically see how to work a database. I did say, and it's true, that I still use the accordion folder to this day. Feed it daily. That's what we're going to work on this week. That is the place where real estate agents completely fail most of the time. You are not growing your database every day that you work. Number 3, consistent and systematic. There's that word again. 8x8, 32 touch, 33 touch, 40 touch, consistent and systematic contact. And number 4, service all leads. You don't need to worry about service all leads. I'll just mark that off until you have too many leads to handle. You create a database, you feed it daily, you have consistent and systematic contact, and you service all leads. Those are the 4 laws. 0 people in your database makes $0. Somebody guess for me, $1 million a year. This is a 41-year-long study. How many people in your database do you need that have answered that question? Can I be the real estate agent that you refer people to, that have a nice touch system that goes out to them? How many people on average to make $83,000 a month or $1 million a year?
1,692.
Oh, really good guess. 1,960.
Dang it.
You had
Okay.
numeric, somebody had dyslexia, which is absolutely fine. About 2,000. Half of 2,000 is 1,000. Half of a million is about 1,000 people in your database. Is how you make $500,000 a year in income. Half of 1,000 is 500 in your database. That's about how you make 250, give or take. Some people might do it with 400. Some people might do it with 600. It's going to be close. Half of 500 is 250 in your database. And that is the number where you end up quitting. Oops. How do I? Quitting. Right there. Right there. That's the number that you end up quitting the real estate business. That's a 25, 26-year in our statistic. Everybody that left the real estate business had 250 people or less in their database or no database, and they ended up quitting. You have to get, that's why I call this class, to 300 and the very beginning of stability in your business. Now, I would love, let me get rid of this, to spend a lot more time on that with you guys, because that was the 5-minute version. And we need to do that more for Sam, Priscilla, etc. But you can see now that you missed that and that I've worked with it for so many years as to why I'm like, get an accordion folder, get 3x5 cards, and I want you to call everybody in your database and say, can I just want to double check, says Sam, can I be the real estate agent that you refer people to? So now I want to hear from you guys, and it doesn't matter. Do not be embarrassed if you only have the courage to call one person or if you called 50. I want to hear success stories. And if you did one, that was enough. So Sam, how did you do it? Tell me what happened.
Okay. One got a haircut on Tuesday, chickened out.
It's okay.
But then I started calling friends I've known for a long time to just get some rhythm going. The first call was a friend, Greg, I've known for 20 years. He lives in Texas. He used to live in Sacramento. I met him in another state, but he said, oh yeah, I think my brother's looking to sell and move to Folsom. But then he called him, and his friend had just sold recently. I mean, his brother had sold to an investor, so he's renting right now. But that was the first call, and
So you missed that one by
yeah,
literally that much.
But it was a learning that there is activity out there.
Yeah.
And so, again, I'm talking to someone that I know, like, and trust, and he likes me. So it was an easy, natural conversation. And, we talk about life and other things as well.
Yep.
I called six people. Another one is the guy I used to go watch UFC fights with.
Yeah.
And I know he has some rental properties, and we used to do kickboxing together. He's looking to sell one of his properties. He's already signed with an agent, but again, that told me like there is movement and activity. And we went out on Saturday night and watched a fight with my son and his friends. So
there's 2 deals right there.
Yeah.
And if you had worked this system that we're talking about right now, can I be the real estate you refer people to? Write those 2 people handwritten notes. They get your social media. You call them 4 times a year. You had sung happy birthday to that guy. The second his brother was ready to sell, they would have given it to you. And that other guy, same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So it got me out of my shell.
Yep.
To just even like say, hey, let's catch dinner, and just like keep in touch and be a friend, and met his girlfriend, and my son came out and watched. So we had a good time, made a few other calls. People were receptive. They said, yeah, send me some of your business cards. I'll pass them out. So it was a good experience. I also spent a lot of time updating my Google contacts and putting labels on them, because I used to live in another state. So I'm categorizing California versus Utah, if I know them from kickboxing or the gym or church.
Yep.
So, doing that. And then I did an open house on Saturday. Got a couple names there for follow-ups, and then ordered new business cards.
Okay. Let me tell Priscilla that is absolutely okay. I think that's fantastic. Now we have to establish a schedule for you. Are you full-time in real estate? Yes or no? Be honest.
No,
Yes or no?
no. I have a full-time job.
Okay, so what is earmarked to work into real estate?
What is my what?
What do you have earmarked? An hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, 4 days a week? If I told you that, well, let me ask you this. Part-time, do you want to be successful in real estate? Like do one deal a month, let's say?
Yeah, I just need to get a deal just to get momentum going.
Okay.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
need to do one deal a month. You need 300 people in your database that have said yes to that question, and they need to be regularly touched by you. Okay. So in order to get to 300, and first of all, if you were coming to me and said that you intended to keep your full-time job and work part-time to get to, let's say one a month, I would say, why did you tell me the full-time job thing? You know what I mean? If it was just you and me and it was my boutique brokerage and you came to me and said that, I was like, you should have told me that. Because I think that you're a wonderful guy just by looking at you right here and listening to you. My opinion is you should be full-time in real estate because you're absolutely lovable and very honest, immediately trustworthy, super nice. Thousands of people should know you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thousands of people should know you.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it and get to one a month or not have it be like this thing that's frustrating, just have 300 people that say, yeah, Sam, you would be the person I'd refer people to. So we talked last time and you said you had about 50, and we'll come back to that. 50 that you have to pre-qualify. We'll come back to that. Yeah. Is anybody else on here? Susie, or was Beatrice on last time? Krista? Maybe, maybe not.
No.
Okay, so 10 more minutes. Any Susie, you were on last time.
Beatrice is here. I'm here.
Were you on last time and part of the fun?
Not at all.
Not at all. Not part of the fun. Susie,
But I'd
were you
love to.
on? Were you on last Monday? Lily? Mitesh? Who else? Let me ask it differently.
Bristol,
Who else
Lily,
was on last
Rajan,
Monday and did the homework?
and Peterman. I think Peter's new also.
Did anybody else do the homework, or are you literally that scared right now to talk to me? It's possible, Sam, that this is scary stuff.
No, I'll be honest. I thought about not coming back, but then I just jumped in and started doing it.
Good, good. So Sam, I'll just talk to you. We've got 9 more minutes because I'm going to give homework for this week as well. In order to do, I'm going to go to a whiteboard actually. And this, I'm going to write Sam, but this could be anybody, okay? So this is Sam, but it could be anybody. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What did I miss? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 6, 7. I feel like I missed a day there. Okay, Sam, what days, if I'm going to coach you right now, and I'm going to end this on the dot in 8 minutes with homework as well, what days would you devote to real estate as a schedule rather than winging it? Because remember, in order to be successful, we have to go from E to P. So give me, even if you have to guess right now for the sake of brevity, give me a reasonable schedule that you intend to work on real estate.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. I work for an ad agency, and so work has been slow the last few weeks, and that's why I've been ramping up. And I'm getting assigned a new account this week.
Do you think you could give me 2 hours, 4 days a week?
I could definitely do Saturday. Like I want to do open houses on Saturday.
Okay. What else?
For prospecting, probably 2 other days, and then there's some education I need to get caught up on too.
Okay. So let's just, for the sake of it, say that these days I circled are the days that you can work and you
Okay.
are part-time. And let's say you can give me 3 hours each day. Okay.
Okay.
Here's exactly what you need to do in order to get, maybe, in my opinion, like I said, if you were coming to me privately and it was at my little brokerage, I'd be like, dude, I don't hire part-time people. So we need to work on a schedule for you to be full-time. So don't tell me that your passion is to be a part-time agent or lie to me because you really want to work here because I'm the best. And that's just how my agents think as well. And you would have known my office because we're always number one, right? So I would have said, okay, let's get you out of your other job. Okay, how do we do that? How does 100 to 120K per year sound? And you're then in charge of your own schedule. Would that work for you, Sam?
It's close. Yeah.
Okay.
I target would be 150.
150. Okay. So we need four. I'm going to do 150. We need 400 qualified people in your database. Okay.
Okay.
You could do it on these hours. Here's your schedule. And this is what you do in these 3 hours, 3 days a week. Number one, add 3. Whoops, you can't see that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Add 3. Number one, add 3. So 3 days a week, every day that you work, we only have 3 hours. In the first hour, you're going to add 3 people to your database. I don't care how you do it. Now we'll talk about all of the different ways that we could do it. The goal is 400 qualified people in your database. Number 2 is you're going to have a fully qualified database. So the second hour, I want you to call for referrals because we don't have a lot of time here. And you just told me how good at talking to people you are. So the second hour, you're going to call for referrals. Okay. And the third hour, you're going to database manage. Do all the stuff you need to do to stay up to task, handwritten notes, all that stuff. And you're going to take listings and work buyers. Take listings and buyers. You're like, that's not a lot of time to take listings and buyers. Yeah, but if you're doing the first hour of adding 3, oops, I don't know why those lines are there. If you're doing the first hour of adding 3 and the second hour of calling for referrals, you're going to be super excited. You're going to see all of a sudden 2-3 deals happen a month and you're going to quit the other job. 400 in the database qualified. So that brings us to, it's 126. I'm going to get rid of this. This little story that I told with Sam is true with anybody. It's about 3 hours a day. You're going to spend 1 hour meeting new people, 1 hour calling to people that you already know, asking for referrals, and 1 hour making up your numbers on the first 2 things. I gave Sam a little bit different homework because he's transitioning from being part-time to full-time because he's got to fit everything in 3 hours. But if DJ is full-time, it's 3 hours of base Sam. So it's 3 hours of lead generation, meeting the new people, calling for referrals, working, right? Anything to do with the database, all within those 3 hours. And then the rest of the day, so 5 extra hours to take new listings, make up those numbers. So if I didn't meet 3 people in my lead gen time, now I head to my geographic farm and now I'm door knocking 50 doors. I'm constantly lead generating. It ends up being way more than 3 hours a day, but it's at minimum 3 hours. So now anybody else on this call, so what you would have to do this week and anybody else this week, if you have your accordion folder and you have the 3x5 card and you called a few people, and thank you, Sam, for having the courage to do it. I knew this is what would happen. This is the 700th time I've taught this. Maybe the 1700th time I've taught this. everybody freaks out. But I appreciate you coming back and saying, I actually made like 5 calls and they weren't that bad. So you've got to continue this week, number one, making it through your 50. Because
Okay.
I said do 50 last week. Why? Because I'm a full-time high producing agent mentality. And before I owned a real estate company, I was a full-time I was the number one agent in my office, right? So making 50 calls for me in a week isn't hard. Why? Because I can make 50 calls in a day. Why? Because I regularly do 100-day call sessions, 100 contacts a day call sessions. My friend in New York does 100 contacts a day, 5 days a week. He makes $13 million a year. So it's all in the numbers, right? I wasn't willing to call that much, but I was willing to build a database to a certain size. Then I mastered how that works. And I really like training people. So I started a real estate company, and everybody in my first real estate company had to do this. And we had an average per person productivity of 21 units, which was number one in Southern California. The most units per person in the office. So that means on average, every person in my office did 21 units. What did they have to do? They had to get their database as quickly as they can to 300 and then build their business beyond. They had to lead generate a minimum of 3 hours a day when you're on, and when you're off, you're off. Now think about it. If Sam, because you remember the grid that I showed, 0 equals 0, 0 in your database equals $0, 1,960 equals $1 million. Think about this. If for the rest of 2025, Sam just picked up 200 work days, took 165 days off or worked your other business, and all 200 of those days, Sam met 3 new people and said, can I be the real estate agent that you refer people to? Eventually, after maybe a few handwritten cards and getting to know them. That's 600 people that he could add to his database this year and still take 165 days off. We're into February, so maybe you knock that down to, 180 on and probably 130 days off, because we're into February. 180 times 3, so that's like 500 and change. Now you've got a legitimate 250K business. It'll appear in 2026 because we're not at 250K in your database yet. So this week, I'm asking everybody, if you're on this call, Priscilla, Susie, anybody, and Krista, you can have me redo for a group that wants to specifically go through this, right? You can have me do 300 in the beginning, and then they all have to stay on for the homework. But you're starting, Sam's getting to hear the homework, Susie's getting to hear the homework. I want everybody this week to add 3 new people a day to their database. Now, Sam, if you want to build a multi-million-dollar business, you're going to have to add. Now, when I started, I added 10 new people a day to my database. That's how I became the number one agent. I did that for 1 year. So I ended the year with just under 1,000 people in my database and made just less than $500,000 first year. Then doubled it, right?
How did you figure that system out in your first year?
I got a coach.
Okay.
So I knew 12 people when I started. I got a coach.
Okay.
I couldn't afford it. I got a coach. I paid $1,000 a month for a coach. Coach said, we got to get you to 330. And it was add 3 was my mantra. And I started adding 3 really easy. So I'm like, hey, coach, can I add 10? Because I'm loving this. I just have to add people to my database. And I quickly realized that, no offense, all other realtors other than me suck. That's the way I looked at it. You got to look at it like Michael Jordan. I mean, I'm not kidding you. David McKeever should look at it like everybody sucks but me. Now I'm going to be really nice to you guys, and I want you to work with me and teach and train. But when it came to going out and meeting people, I'm just the best. Now I also woke up and looked in the mirror and said, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Sometimes I had to drive in my car and go, DJ, you're the best. You're the best. Did I have fears and all that stuff? Of course, Sam. Of course. fears of rejection, fears of baldness. I mean, fears of everything, right? But
I
I
don't
didn't,
have that fear.
but I didn't let myself stop. I saw that the numbers were working. So I got my database to 1,000. And then I'd worked that for a couple of years and I started my own real estate company. I'm like, this freaking works. If I could just get everybody. So my demand was that you had to follow this system on that first company of mine. And it absolutely worked. Why? Because it's talking to people, it's building relationships, it's loving on people. And the law of reciprocation says that if I give to Brad and I ask for something in return, he's generally going to say yes. It's not like, it's not out of proportion. It's business goes both ways. Sam, you know, these other realtors, they go out and did I tell you how my business works? These other realtors go out and do this thing called prospecting. Instead, I decided to meet people just like you of comparable qualities to yourself, which I really appreciate. And I focus on you guys getting you great real estate related information, helping your friends and family when they need. And all that I ask in return is that you send me more people just like you. So I take care of my people, you send me more people. And all these other realtors, they go out and they're just trying to sell you something right away. And I'm not. I'm just trying to stay in touch, be your trusted advisor. Does that make sense? Sam says, yeah. Who do you know right now that I should be in a relationship with? Do you know somebody from church that might be thinking of buying? By the way, I'm taking listings right now. There's over 20,000 more listings on the market right now in Phoenix, Scottsdale than there were last year. What does that mean? That means if you know somebody or you were thinking about selling, you better do it now before prices shift. As more and more properties come on, prices start to go down. Hasn't really happened yet. It's competitive, but as a movement that's made the media, it hasn't reached the newspaper yet, but it's coming. Wow, DJ really knows his stuff. Yeah, my parents actually, house is too big. My dad's the kind of guy who's like, oh, let's wait for the top of the market. And you're like, call him and say the top of the market's here. I just met the guy that knows his shit. Okay. I went 5 minutes long. You've got to meet 3 people a day for 5 days this week. That would be anybody's homework. Anything else is just writing handwritten notes and continuing last week's homework to qualify your database. And by the way, this is the stuff that normal top realtors do every day. Qualify database, add 3, use scripts, know my statistics, go list 2 properties. I mean, right? I just want you to feel that sense of urgency. Krista Johnson, 5 million. Yep, there you go. 720. So if Sam says to me, DJ, I want to make $83,000 a month. That's 2,000 in your database. And I found out Sam religiously can add 5 people a day, 200 business days. That's 600 plus 600 is 1,200. It's going to take you 3 years to get the 2,000 in your database, maybe 4, and then another year to realize the final income from the size of that database. So 5-year project to get to 83,000 a month. All you got to do is go from E to P, add 3 people a day, ask people if you can be the real estate agent that you refer them to. It's so simple. Is it hard work? Not even, kind of not. But okay, if you want to call it that. Hard work would be like digging ditches for $2 an hour in some other country where they're like whipping me. Guys, we're blessed. Anyway, questions?
The reason why I call it hard work is there's an old saying that I've always followed by saying everything easy isn't worth it and everything hard is always worth it.
Yep.
So physically hard, no. Mentally hard, yes.
Yeah. So if it's not, so like if me adding 3 a day, I'm like, I got this. Then adding 10 a day and sticking to that 5 days a week was hard. That's hard. So I had to challenge myself, right? Jason and Laura that I coached, they had to create this mega open house that nobody's ever thought of before. because their numbers were so aggressive that they wanted to hit. So they had to keep pushing. What if I plus it? How can I make it better? What if I plus it? Right? Okay. Questions, Sam?
Yeah.
I mean, my question is probably for another day, but just I want to know how do you get 3 a day? Like,
How do you get 3? Well, you get 2,
Yeah.
and then you add 1 more.
okay, gotcha, thanks.
So how do you get 3, right? So what could you do? You could hold 5 open houses a week. You
Okay,
could just be the open house guy. They
okay.
don't even have to be your listings. You can call other agents and hold their houses open. The easiest way is to start a geographic farm.
And door knock?
Absolutely door knock. And you're
Okay.
such a sweetheart of a guy. Hey, I'm Sam Ashley. I'm the realtor. I'm the go-to realtor in this area. What's your biggest challenge this year? 2025 Mill Street? Getting my kids off to college. Awesome. Like, think of a movie. Just be that character. Hey, what's your biggest challenge this year? 2021 Mill Street? My mother's ill and I got to spend time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And then next time you visit, right? Or you're mailing something and you're just taking better and better care of the people. The first time is going to be rough. The second time is going to be rough. 3,000 home geographic farm. And then all of a sudden the people love you. And then sadly, think about, I mean, there's can go the other way. Like my agents in Altadena, California. They've door knocked Altadena I have friends of mine that door knocked Altadena for 30 years, 50 doors every day. Those people love it. All the houses are gone. So,
Okay,
like,
so
that's
what?
hard, Susie, right? That got hard, right? Yeah.
So I want to try the door knocking. What is considered success? Are you trying to get
So
their
I'll tell you
name on the first visit, or it's the
No,
second or third time?
You're just trying to get to know people, right? So
Okay.
you're trying to meet 3 people. So probably 1 out of 10 doors answers. So you're
Okay.
probably looking at knocking 30 doors a day to meet 3 people. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm your local guy. I live over here. Did you know that there's, statistics? Maybe you have some statistics. Maybe you're helping the neighborhood with something. Go ahead and watch a few videos on geographic farming. I mean, this stuff isn't really that hard, right? Have a little something. It's not, here's my card. It's like statistics, easy. Did you know that there's over 20,000 more listings on the market this time than there were last year? I live up the street. You're my people. Do you have an awesome real estate agent that you refer people to? I can assure you that 9 out of 10 do not. 9 out of 10. What do you guys need help with? Do you need me to, what's your biggest challenge this year? Anything. Now, I held open houses. That was my thing. And that's how I started to meet a lot of people. I was personally terrified of geographic farming. I don't know why. And then I went to cold calling. So I did open houses, and I actually was terrified of cold calling, and I became pretty good at cold calling. So I was never a geographic farmer. However, I will tell you that geographic farming is generally the basis of all giant real estate businesses. So when you talk to the big players, they generally either have a geographic farm that they added later, or they started geographic farming. So just start walking and knocking and meeting people. That's the easiest way. Do you have a real estate agent you refer people to? I'd love to be the one. I have a great group of people to get wonderful related information from time to time. I'd love for you to be part of my group. Nice to meet you. Hey, by the way, what's your biggest challenge that you guys are facing this year? It was nice to know you, Sam. Nice to know you too. Here's a little statistical update on the neighborhood. Great.
Okay.
Okay.
If you don't know where to start with your own neighborhood. I mean, expand from there, but at least, you know how much it would kill you if, like, 5 houses down, someone else is selling a house from your neighbor? Yeah, because you didn't get to know your neighbors.
Yep.
And they don't know that you're a realtor.
Yeah.
And experiment with meeting people too. You can always, so Susie's right. If the geographic farm starts around where you live, there's 3,000, and you're experimenting with different methods of meeting people, You can always head back towards home, which you're going to go anyway, and knock 20 doors and finish off your number. I'm just telling you, the numbers don't lie. If you have 1,000 people in the database, you can make 500,000. Okay.
Thank you.
I know this is hard, guys. Krista, take it away.
Okay.
Those two.
Yeah, I will just throw a nugget out there, and Sam knows this. Easiest way to go meet people is to have a purpose for being out there. And so the first year I became a top producer, I held neighborhood garage sales. It was the easiest way to get to meet people because I was offering something they wanted and it was cheap and easy. So if you want to know how to do that, I'm happy to talk about that. But there's a lot of ways you can do it. Just get out and start meeting people. Okay, so DJ, where are we? Oh, he's off camera. Okay.
Yeah, I'm off camera, but I'm still here.
All right, so I believe next week we also have you scheduled to teach, right? You're gonna deliver some.
Yeah, if you guys
value.
want, or if this just got really too hard right now, I can go over 300 again. I mean, next week is gonna be, it gets harder. I don't know if these guys are ready for it yet.
Okay.
Next week's super hard.
That sounds amazing. I can't wait.
My agents were scared of next week. The first week you get to call your database. The second week you add 3 people a day. And the third week is actually hard.
Okay. You know what? I know you've already delivered both of those and they've been recorded at this point. So I say let's move forward, and
Yep.
those who want to, they can catch up on their own time, but I feel like
Okay, I'll do next week, but get ready. If Sam shows up, Priscilla says let's do it. Okay. So whoever shows up next week, this actual activity that we're going to do next week could stand independently of everything we've done. So it could stand as a pillar on its own, but it is not for the faint of heart.
Okay. I say let's do it. Let's move forward. I appreciate you.
I'm in. Appreciate you guys.
All right, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll catch you next Monday.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Great seeing
Bye-bye.
everybody.